welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an anime story podcast.
Ah,
I'm the Big Bad Moon. Right over here on the right is Bad Strategy. He's one of your hosts. And just
I
below me is
used
Hal
to
in
be
3D. She is your other host. And right over here on the right. Yes, she got moved. At some point, Hallen got moved below me. I think it was an OBS update. And don't know why.
Well, now
Hey!
I'm below.
Yes, as above. Helen, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are
Great.
you?
Fabulous, stupendous, and marvelous.
Staying busy in the house.
Oh yes, I hear that. Yes. And Bad, how are you doing?
I'm reading about entropy.
Ah, yes, yes.
Hmm.
Someone else should have done that.
Oh, really?
I mean, anyway, that'll be relevant later. Hi. So today on an anime story, we are going to be talking about Madoka Magica. There are two other words in front of this anime.
Yeah, it's Puma
Puella
something.
Madoka Magica. I don't know what that means, and I've never heard
It
anybody say it.
translates to the magical girl Madoka Magica. Or no, the magical girl Madoka? I think Puella is just like the.
Oh, on another note, I discovered this week, or actually it was last week, finally I've discovered the Google Translate app on your phone. Holy crap, it's amazing. Cuz you can like so
I don't know what that is.
Okay, you can get the Google Translate app on your phone.
Okay.
And it does. My screen is like the lights. So, and you can look at stuff. So like I'm trying to. Oh yeah, here's. Let's see. I wonder if I can do this.
Aha.
Oh, can I even see this? So
I can't see it.
it's
So
hard.
it blurs
So,
the
yeah.
text. It blurs around the text and
That makes
places
sense.
text over top of it.
And it'll
And so
translate
it
to
makes
another
it
language.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so it basically
I've heard about that,
Yeah.
like people going to other countries and using their phone because they can just like go like this.
it's really nice. The way it blurs, it looks like it's putting the text over top of the thing.
That's
So
awesome.
it's projecting
yeah,
it as
so-
if the text is actually there.
So this is here. Let me show you.
Sorry, I'm still sniffly.
That's okay. I don't blame you for being sniffly. I blame Bad.
What?
That's right. Yeah, so here, check this out. I just took a screenshot of this. So here's my torque wrench, and here is what the translation app did. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? It's backwards because
Color.
I just took a photo of this. Is what happened. Right? It
Aha.
translates stuff, and you can do all the
That's
Google
cool.
Translate language. Anyways, it helped us
That's
in our
really cool.
I was watching Train to Busan with a friend of mine.
You could have used that in Lane.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Right? So we're in Train to Busan. There's a bunch of moments where we see a person's phone and they have a text message and there's like conversations happening, and it was all in, of course, I think Korean, because it's a Korean film. And so I just took my
Right.
phone and I was like, Korean to English, and I thought it was amazing. The 21st century is pretty awesome.
It is.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
It's less amazing and more
That's
terrifying.
fair.
But that was really cool. Google Translate. I can get behind it.
I have confirmed that Puella Magi Madoka Magica is the magical girl Madoka Magica.
Aha. Good.
Hmm.
We know now. Well, so what do you guys think of Madoka? Madoka Magica.
I
I
am biased
really-
towards all things time travel.
That's true. He loved it. He absolutely loved it.
I
And it's
always
also-
loved it. This is the second time I watched it, and like, it didn't lose anything for me. In fact, I discovered more.
Uh-huh.
So I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I generally tend to agree. I thought it was fun. I was surprised. I did not expect it to be.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why we didn't give you a straight magic girl, because like we could have gone card capture or Sailor Moon or something like
no,
that.
no shows that were made to sell products.
That's
No,
Just
that's
I
fair.
liked some of card captors.
I watched Sailor Moon in the '90s.
See?
Yeah.
I should also mention, speaking of anime, I
Mhm.
finally watched Gate a while back because we mentioned Gate
It's
on.
good. Yeah, I
I
watched
thought
it
that
too.
looks interesting. Mm-hmm.
I
Very
like
interesting.
Gate. I don't think the writer knows what the most endearing qualities of Gate are, though.
Right.
And I think that they start to move away from it as the show progresses.
Uh-huh,
But
uh-huh.
I like Gate. It's such a. I love the idea of Fantasyland being a third world country. It's just on point.
So, Helen, tell me
Yes.
about how you felt about Madoka.
I
What do you
really
think? What do you
enjoyed-
think of the strong points?
I feel like the strong points. I feel like the story was very strong. I like that they didn't give us everything up front. That there were things to be discovered. I really enjoyed the animation. I felt like they did a really nice job keeping it smooth and working from moment to moment. And I thought that was really nicely done. The music was excellent. The freaking intro was like solid. And then like the ending left you with something like what's actually going on here, cuz like with the red text and like the way it kind of seemed a little eerie. There was like just strings, just a little bit threaded through all of it, and I really enjoyed that.
Nice. No, I would have to agree with a lot of that. I actually was really surprised with how enjoyable the soundtrack was.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very well supported by the soundtrack. That adds a lot to it, most assuredly.
There. Okay. People's rightful places have been restored. I don't know if that got switched around one day. But yeah, no. So okay. So as a recap of the show, Madoka Magica is about a group. Well, it's about one girl who ends up falling into this, and a group of young, I think middle school girls. I don't think it specifies ages. They're in middle school in Japan.
Yeah.
They are approached by an adorable and secretly incredibly evil little cat thing with big long ears. Or maybe evil is not the right word. Maybe entirely apathetic.
Yes.
Age 14. Unfortunately, I could not find blood type.
Ah, yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, we have to try to find the important things. So, tells you a lot about a person, their blood type. So these girls are approached by this cat thing, and it'll grant them a wish, and any wish they want, and in return for the wish, they become magical girls, and they then have to spend the rest of their lives fighting witches, and which is
It's
very
more of a
dangerous and violent.
Guideline than an actual rule.
Yeah, it's true. You technically don't have to do that. Also, spoilers though. Unbeknownst to them, when magical girls, they have a little soul
Samson.
thing.
Tro is sending me stuff.
They have
He
a little-
said blood type A,
"Oh, jeez,
hair
that out.
color pink.
Yes.
cut that out, Tro.
Thank you.
Birthday October 3rd,
I don't want to hear it."
age 14.
Pink's not an eye color.
Birthplace is Matakihara City.
Oh my god. Okay,
She
so
says it's 22 JP. Sorry. I'm
I
done.
just don't even, good. Thank goodness. So, so, unbeknownst to these magical girls, they turn into magical girls so they can fight witches. Of course, they get a wish out of it. And unbeknownst to them, but known to the cat thing, so when they turn into magical girls, they each get a little gem, and it turns out the gem is like what their soul is now encased in. And so if
They become liches.
they become liches, basically. They're liches. whenever they get too much like corruption in their soul gem, it'll break and they will become a witch. Which begs a few interesting mathematical questions about how many witches magical girls defeat versus how many magical girls are created. I don't quite get that. Although I guess, okay, they did say that, what is it? There are also things called familiars who can turn into witches. But we didn't really go into familiars. So there's a lot of
familiars,
stuff.
I think they say that if a familiar kills like 5 or 10 people, it turns into a witch.
Yeah, that's fair. So that solves that simple mathematical question. But that is the gist of the show. And basically there's a giant, horrible mega witch coming, and they know about it, and so they're building up to when that happens. And
what's the name? Also, when you turn into a witch, you adopt a German name, which is delightful.
Do you?
All the witches have German names.
Oh, right, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Don't know why. That's weird. I guess
I approve.
German sounds more witchy than Japanese does, I suppose.
Also, the graffiti on the wall is in German.
So this is interesting because, so when they fight a witch, they go into a, what is it called? A witch's labyrinth, I think. And it's this place where the animation is totally different. And there's lots of little like minion things running around doing all manner of stuff. How do you guys feel about that?
I love the contrast. I like how artistically it like is jarring, and I really like that it takes you out of the element of what the show is and throws you into this new element of art style. I think it's really cool. And I know you guys haven't seen the side story, but the side story does it even more, and it's really cool.
Side story?
There's a side story, yes.
Is it another season of something or what?
It's a spin-off, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like it's happening maybe at the same time, maybe before, we don't really know.
It looks like there's a significant amount of manga that is maybe also like separate stories.
Yeah.
Side stuff.
But they do even more with that contrasting, and I really like that.
Yeah. I think
gritty.
Nice.
Some of the labyrinths look super awesome. I think initially the first few labyrinths are more jarring, and I don't know if they improve the art or if like we just get more used to it. I think some of it might be the first labyrinth, the worm witch is especially jarring more than just the labyrinth by itself.
That's interesting. Yeah. So
go ahead. I mean, certainly the last witch.
Yeah.
There's nothing jarring there because it's not very jarring because it's not in a labyrinth. But like, I think farther on through the story, it feels less out of place, and I'm not fully convinced that that's just people, the viewer, acclimating to it, though it might be.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say that I did think the animation in the labyrinth was a little bit jarring when we first saw it. For me, I actually like the worm thing. I thought that was interesting and it looked good. Later on, I feel like I was more used to it. And I don't know if the animation changed or if they did something, to make it feel better. But later on, I got used to it. It may have just me been getting used to it. One thing I will say about that. So the change in animation. They had a couple of times. There's a couple of moments where they had a relatively drastic change in what the Witch Layer was. Just a couple of times. There's the one, and it's in one of the alternate timelines, and they're like running through the sky on like clotheslines, and it was weird and fun. I liked that. They had one other one.
That was also that episode, the time travel flashback episode where we see
everything.
What is that character's name? We see Homura Akemi's backstory. Best episode of the show.
I agree. That was actually delightful. I loved that episode. but no, yeah. I wish one thing I wish as far as the Witch Slayers went, I kind of wish we would have gotten more variety because I loved the clothesline thing. I feel like there was another one that was kind of different, and I
I
really
think
enjoyed it.
the I mean there's the Sayaka's witch
Hmm.
labyrinth
Hmm.
was the one with the wheels, and I think there was some really good movement in that. I like the
Totally.
dodging
Hmm.
the wheels,
Hmm.
and that was
Hmm.
interesting. I think the three standout ones are like the wheels, the
Hmm.
clotheslines, and the final one that wasn't in a labyrinth.
Right. That's
But
just
I
in
think
Gesundheit.
all of the
Right.
other ones kind of blend together.
Hmm. Yeah. No, for me, I would agree with that. Um, but I did end up liking the change in style. I thought that was kind of fun. Um,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah,
so,
it would be awesome to see a bunch of like more labyrinths and more like
so,
diversity because there's some interesting stuff going on there.
so Helen,
Hmm. Yes.
what would you say is your biggest criticism of the show?
um. Ooh, that's hard. I would say my biggest criticism for the show is that there were times where I felt it to be a little campy.
Uh huh. Hmm. That's fair.
There were times that like I felt there was some kind of a lull where I could be doing something else. Like, oh
Uh
yeah, okay, I can
huh.
listen and it's not that important. Like, because I actually listened to the dub, I did not listen to the sub with this one. And there were times where I felt like, okay, like this is a time I could be doing something and not
Yeah.
have to
Hmm.
be fully engaged.
That no, that is absolutely fair. That is absolutely fair. I think that yeah, no, I think that's entirely a fair criticism. I feel like there was a lot of sections of the show um, that didn't feel like they were going too many places. Like we're just kind of waiting around. And this is one of the things I loved about that one episode with the time travel because there's like suddenly tons of information, just a ton of information about we had the backstory and we had the all the time travel stuff happening. That was a lot of fun.
Oh. I also think the mother character was superfluous.
I agree with that. I think she could have easily been cut.
And I hate cutting characters, and I will tell you why.
That's fair. Hmm.
I
I
love
feel
it.
like there's always a purpose. You have to think about it. The writer had a purpose for the mom.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And I felt like there were key elements that the mom played a part in, especially like at the very end. But like my daughter always tells me the truth. This happens. Like there was some moments that really fed into that. We could have seen more of that, but
I
I
think.
hate
Yeah,
getting rid of characters
I
because like
think so.
you know,
I'll agree with that. I think
mm-hmm.
they either should have cut her, or expanded on her
I
so that
agree.
she was more
I,
relevant.
I agree
I
with that.
don't think she had enough as is to really help the story.
Mm-hmm.
We needed more or less.
This is
I
here's
agree.
I
But I
yep.
feel like if you had less, it would have taken away from
That's
it
fair.
wouldn't have grounded us in the character.
Hmm.
That's fair. I
Hmm.
feel like okay, so I think I 100% agree with the notion that she should have had more. She should have been more relevant. She should have had more bearing on the story and the character growth. Um, and as she is right now, I would have cut her. I would have. Well, I think she is a good grounding force in the story, and she should have had uh, more to do with the character development. Um, but she just didn't. She just like all of her scenes, like because I think she has over the course of the show maybe like 3, 4
I
scenes,
think there were four,
um,
yeah.
and a couple of them aren't really. She has the one where she's just talking to her friend, and they're having tea and they're talking about stuff. Mostly, it didn't have much bearing on the story, and it didn't have a ton of bearing on the character development. There's, I think, a scene at the beginning, and there's a scene at the end and I feel like we didn't get enough out of her. Well, and this goes actually into probably my greater criticism of the Madoka Magica in general. I actually think it should have been. So you're saying that it did feel like it wasn't going anywhere occasionally, made it feel a little bit backgroundy. I feel like they should have expanded it a little bit, made it longer, and spent more time focusing on individual characters. I think an episode solely dedicated to her mom would have been a really great idea.
I
so
agree.
that you can just get that story. It's going to feel better because she's actually had an entire episode. I also feel like one of the things I was sad about is the character. What is her name that has the swords?
The
Oh,
redhead or
Kyoko
blue?
Sakura?
Yeah,
The spear? No, not spear?
no, the
Spear or
swords.
Oh,
Which one?
Saika-Miki.
Saika-Miki. So I feel like we didn't get enough out of her. Like she was interesting. I like her character. I like who she is and how she interacts with everybody. And I feel like her story was just over so quickly. And I was like, I feel like I like her build from being a magic girl to the point where she breaks and becomes a witch. I feel like it was just so small, and I really would have liked to like build
Have
more
more.
into that so
Yeah.
that like that breaking moment was better, because I feel like it just happened really fast. And so I feel like I would like to have just made it longer and had more focused on the individual characters, because I feel like a lot of information flew by and a lot of character building flew by, and I didn't necessarily feel it. That being said, I still thought it was great. I enjoyed it and I thought it was fun, and that's why I wish I had gotten to know some of the characters more, because I just don't feel like I really got to know that character, for instance.
It seemed like a roller coaster ride. It was a little rushed.
Yeah.
Also, Saika-Miki's witch form is named Octavia von Seckendorf.
That's a good name.
Beautiful.
So good.
Beautiful.
So good.
Oh dear. But yeah, so that's how I feel. I feel like, probably biggest strength for me of the show, I would say, are the characters. They're all distinct. They're all very interesting, and they have interesting relationships with each other. I love that. As much as some of the backstories are a little bit over the top, but that's fine. It's a magical girl anime. That's to be expected. But the spear person with her father
Kyoko.
and the Kyoko and the religious organization that he founds and all
I
that stuff.
think that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's dark and sinister
Right.
and
Totally. That's a great. She's distinct. It's the same thing for. I wish we would have gotten more into. Was it Mame?
Mommy?
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 M-A-M-I?
Mommy?
Mommy Tomoe?
Yeah. So
Mommy?
I wish we would have gotten more into her, because
Mommy?
she had a very quickly explained backstory, and then we didn't hear anything else about it. I would have loved to have gotten more into her character. And the same thing, any of the characters, I feel like they were all interesting and distinct, and I just don't.
That's
I feel like I
really
didn't get
what
enough.
made the.
I
That's
think the way they set it up at first
Uh-huh.
was really well done up into the episode you guys we all love.
Yeah.
Is seeing what happened in the past and
Right.
why she's mentally like
Right. Totally.
but like even if they had more episodes after that to
Uh-huh.
kind of fill that gap, I think that would have been great.
Mhm.
I like that we don't have that, because it kind of gives us a weird investment in
Uh-huh.
the storyline, because we're like, okay, wait, what? Holy shit. Like, wait, what? Sorry. Excuse my language. But like, yeah, you're kind of like, what is happening here? And then you get like a grip of what this world is, and then it's kind of a whirlwind. And I think that after that we could be filled in even more.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's where it would have fit better.
I think what
feel.
makes that time travel episode time travel reveal episode so good is that they show and they don't tell about so many things, right?
Oh,
You learn
yeah.
so
Oh,
much about
yeah.
all the characters. You
Yeah.
see how Mommy reacts to like stress. You see like
Mhm.
all it's so good how they show without like explaining things. All of this information. And you
And
get
all of their wishes are grounded in that too,
Mhm.
which
Yeah,
I
you-
really like that.
Yeah.
Or you're bad, right? I don't know.
Or what is it? He's bad. That's gonna be
Rude. Rude.
Yep.
I'm trying to get better, okay?
You're great. You managed. You chose a name that was not almost identical to ours. So points for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I think it was a little bit quick. I feel like they could have.
It was very quick.
They could have spent more time on the characters in the world, and having a random character mid season, episode where they just do whatever.
It does make it easier to recommend because it's only 12 episodes.
That's true. That is true. That makes it much easier to recommend.
Also, time travel lends itself so well to mystery time travel.
It really does.
So good.
Yeah, you almost have to make it a mystery if it's time travel. And also they get points for time travel. And pretty good soundtrack. Great animation. I enjoyed the animation. Enjoyed the diverse kind of sections of art style. Strongest points. I think probably the characters. Although I will say what's the cat's name?
Cube.
So the evil cat thing.
The incubator.
The incubator, Cube. When he started talking about why the magic girl thing happens, they're like, well, because of the entropy of the universe, we have to turn 14-year-old girls, because of their emotions, into magic girls, and every time a witch happens, the entropy of the universe is diminished, and et cetera, et cetera. I was like, yeah, magic girl. That's all.
It was
I don't even know about entropy.
During Paprika, I was dying during all the techno babble, and I just got this wonderful Schadenfreude watching.
Well, it's just like the most. It just felt really out of left field. Like, oh hey, here's the scientific explanation for the magic girls. It's like, what? Can't they just be magic girls though?
I love when Cube gets shot. Yeah. And then he eats his own body and says, "I have plenty of those, but I'm getting tired of doing this."
That was awesome.
I'd have been more into it if they'd have slowed down his eating, right? Because he kind of just no, like slow eating. I'd have been down.
I couldn't watch. They did that slowly.
That was distressing when he did that. But hey, you know what? He's a cat. What do you expect? You know. It makes sense that the evil, apathetic overlords of the universe are cats.
That's true.
We're doomed.
Yeah.
As far as best girl goes, I think I don't know if there is one. What do you think, Bed?
Sam says evil, apathetic overlords are cats.
Oh my God! His name's Cube. Because it's incubator.
I get it. God, I'm so angry right now.
I think best girl.
Sam goes, I never knew that.
Oh dear.
I didn't either. Honestly, like you said, I was like, shit. Oh man.
The puns.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to choose best girl in this particular show, because the only actual characters were like the four girls. The mom is like a side character. The guy with the violin.
I think best girl.
Side character.
Best girl is the aquatic missiles that Homura brings up during the final boss fight.
Yeah, that might be the case.
Yeah.
And okay, how about waifu?
Sam goes, dude, that was so awesome. She just like put the missiles up.
Waifu is Charlotte, who is the dessert witch, who, according to the Wikipedia page, is in the background muttering, "Where's the cheese?" in German.
I like it. That sounds good to me. I think we've solved this one. Oh my. Well, I think there you have it. Madoka Magica is interesting. Any closing thoughts on this particular anime?
Time travel.
Time travel's great. I love time travel. There should be more of it. Isn't that right? Bad.
Yes. All the time travel, all of it time travel mystery, all of it tragic.
I have a
Love it.
question.
Go ahead.
Dad, did you know when you first watched it if it was going to be a time travel one?
Did I? I don't remember. I don't remember. I think I'd watched it on the basis that it was supposed to be a grimdark magic girl anime.
See, and I watched it thinking it was just a Magic Girl anime, and man, was I hit in the head. Like, I was like, huh, what?
I'm
Huh?
surprised you didn't accidentally stumble onto someone on the internet being like, the 3rd episode, revolutionary.
No! I just saw it on Netflix, and I was like, oh, that looks cute.
Awesome.
And, yeah, it hit me.
Delightful.
I was like, what am I watching? This is so dark.
So
I love how serious it gets. It gets really serious. It's
It
great.
does.
surprisingly more serious than you might think. But no, yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. I'd recommend it. Who would you recommend it to, though? There's the question.
Time travel.
I recently recommended this.
That's true. To your
No,
to
I
your two
recommended
weeb
it to a
friends.
friend of mine who she loves like Magic Girl animes, and I didn't give her any hint that it was dark. Sailor Moon is like her favorite.
Oh dear.
I totally did. I'm totally that person.
Oh dear. No, that's true.
Thank goodness she's not watching this.
Recommend it to people who like time travel and mysteries, and
Magic Girl people.
poor victims like Mandy did.
That's
Oh,
fair.
it's so bad.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Time travel and mystery. I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend it to people who like time travel and mystery. I mean, I guess I would.
You need it. You need it.
It's kind of a weird, it's one of those falls in a weird niche because it's like, okay, it's a time travel mystery, but it's also like a Magic Girl anime. So if you
It is a magic. It's
if you
funny.
don't tell them it's a time travel mystery, they're gonna start watching it and be like,
It's
Girl
not-
anime. Like,
that's true.
It's
I've
not.
seen some dumb ones.
It's not egregiously anime to the point where non-anime people can't watch it, but I think that it being a Magic Girl anime does put up more of a barrier to some people,
Totally.
to a lot of people.
Totally. To a significant
So-
number of people.
It is kind of a weird thing to recommend for that reason.
Unless they like Magic Girl animes.
Unless they like
Then you
Magic Girl
can crush
animes.
their souls.
Is there any more of this? Did they second season or something like that?
No. There's the side story. So, hey, look. It's, Madoka.
Madoka Magica Gaiden? Yeah.
It's what? The side story kind of like... It goes along with the mobile game, Sam said.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be hesitant.
It's on Crunchy.
Magica Record Puella Magi
Yes,
Madoka
yes,
Magica
yes.
Side Story.
Yes.
Is that what Gaiden means? Is Gaiden side story?
I have no idea.
I don't
speak
know.
Japanese.
Okay. Well, side story could be interesting. I'm usually hesitant. I feel like with they had a second season of Mob Psycho and they had a second season of One Punch Man, and for both of them I was like, this isn't going to be good, and then I watched them and I was like,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I
have to say the side story, they clean up a lot of things. Like the animation style is they
Okay.
go even further, and I really like the cutouts and the stories, and there's like this question of why there's a certain city that's immune to their crystals turning into grief seeds, and they don't know why, and I haven't figured it out yet because it's not done, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I could definitely see the very stylized, like witches and labyrinths and familiars being something that could look really, really good if the artist really figured out what they were doing and had some like yeah, I could see them doing some really cool stuff with that. So we were watching more time travel.
That's a great question. What are we going to watch next time?
There's so much anime in the world.
That's true, and never enough.
I've never seen Kitty Grade.
Kitty Grade.
Kitty Grade. I don't even know what that is. Is it anything
I
like
watched a
tardigrade?
few episodes, but I've never actually watched it.
Kitty Grade. Oh my god, it's sci-fi?
Yeah.
Is it time travel?
Is it time travel? He goes, no.
You shut your mouth, Troa.
It's sci-fi, he says.
It is sci-fi. It looks
He's talking about
sci-fi.
what? Fan service, he says.
Sci-fi and fan service, all
Oh
right.
my god. Well, why don't we just do it?
The end story is really good. What? He's like, the end story is really good, but there's a lot of filler. But he loved it. That's his sell on it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Kitty Grade.
Huh?
24 episode science fiction anime series produced in 2002, created by
Yeah, it's an older one.
Gimmick and Gonzo Digimation.
Gonzo.
Is that an old one? Is 2002 an old one? I guess that's an old one.
18 years?
I mean,
We're old. We're old. We just have very
Noah's old.
beautiful faces.
It's true.
We all
I
just
shaved
have
all
very
my hair
beautiful
though, so I
faces.
don't look old anymore.
I think I might have to shave a little bit.
I plucked my eyebrows just for this.
Oh.
I'm gonna shave a little bit this week. I think.
Yeah.
Just take the
Kitty
ends.
Grade.
I'm gonna take
My
the ends.
husband doesn't want to shave his big beard. He's like, no.
He's got to though. He knows
It's
he
so
got
good.
He got to.
It's so good.
I feel your pain, Troa. I feel your pain. Got it.
Okay.
That mask got to fit though.
Kitty Grade, ReZero, Spice and Wolf.
I can throw more in.
Oh boy. What is ReZero again? Isn't that horrific?
Look it up.
ReZero is pretty,
ReZero
I mean,
is time
it's a time travel.
Oh, is it?
It is
Troa says you want something lighthearted, right?
So ReZero, right?
starting life in
I think
So
Uh,
ReZero, right?
it is starting life in a different
Wow.
world from zero.
it
What-
certainly
Are you looking up screenshots?
ReZero. Yeah, totally. That looks very lighthearted. I have to say.
Oh, Jesus.
Is he laughing?
He is.
Oh,
He
dear.
said we're rewatching it right now, so. Second season comes out this summer, he said.
Wait, is ReZero fantasy? It is fantasy.
Yes. It is the protagonist is
It's an isekai.
reincarnated
Gesundheit.
into another world. He's
Ah.
teleported
Isekai.
into another world, into a fantasy world with magic.
Which is isekai.
It is he gets isekai'd into another world. It's probably one of the more interesting options for isekai anime because it reverses a lot of the tropes in isekai anime.
Mm.
One might say it is deconstructive of the genre. Time travel.
Now go on, Tro. I'm listening.
I'm listening to Spice and Wolf, the ending.
The ending song is good. I like it.
Oh dear.
That was one of my favorite things in a
What about Zombieland Saga?
I don't want to watch Zombieland.
Zombieland is hilarious.
And I don't know if I want to watch something that currently has like a horrible.
No,
pandemic in
but
it.
it's not like that.
Oh.
It's really
It's
good.
The other zombies, the nice
Wait.
ones.
Let me look at trailer. for Zombieland
The
Saga.
protagonist is abruptly killed by a truck.
Huh.
10 years later,
Like in
6
Konosuba?
legendary girls from various eras of
It's
history
hilarious.
are brought
It's
back
really,
as zombies.
Wait,
It's really funny.
like in Konosuba?
Konosuba. I love the ending song of Konosuba.
The guy is freaking funny in it.
All right, you guys choose. Choose amongst yourself. I don't care.
What?
I have cast my vote as I don't care. I leave it to the group.
I don't know anything about Zombieland Saga. ReZero's time travel. I do not know anything about Kitty Grade. What else did we have? Spice and Wolf is mellow. If you
Spice
want
and Wolf
mellow, we
sounds
could do Spice
lovely.
and Wolf.
There's a spice.
All right, Spice and Wolf
It's about a
All right,
fox
Spice
girl
and Wolf.
that
and a merchant.
and a
There's
merchant.
2 seasons.
I am feeling unmoved.
We'll just watch like 12 episodes. Be good.
That sounds absolutely great. I love it.
Turo says you can learn economics in Spice and Wolf.
And sp-
You should not learn
No.
economics.
You're killing bad right now.
That's not what you learn. If you buy rocks, the value of rocks will go up, and then you can sell the rocks and make money.
Perfect.
That's not how it works.
Supply and demand. Oh dear, that is funny. Well, hey, this makes a wonderful time to watch some anime. Cause hey, you're stuck in the house, right?
Yeah, a
So
lot of.
does that mean we're gonna do it more?
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
Do it more?
Mia? What?
Do more?
Do more what?
Insert a
Do
neon.
more anime.
Oh. I
Insert
get it.
a neon.
Yes, it is a wonderful time for you to watch anime. And there's so much anime out there.
You don't want to do it like twice a month now?
Oh no, I don't. I.
He's not less busy. He's
No.
more busy.
You guys, like, there's plenty of time for all you guys to watch anime. I am working like 10 hours a day every day.
Hey, I have to
So-
train 2 children how to do 1st and 3rd grade here.
That's
And
fair.
I have my own classes,
Come on, you're
but I need my anime break.
That's
teaching
fair.
them to cut out shapes. Like, how hard could it be?
Are you freaking kidding? My son got through all of the 1st grade coursework in 2.5 weeks. That's how hard it is. He pretends like he can't read, and then we play like sorry, and he's like, oh, this says I can do this. Haha, I can do this to you. And I'm like, yeah, freaking read, you little. Wah! My kids are too smart, and they kill me.
That's fair. That is fair.
I need a break. Now I know why teachers deserve more pay.
Put anime on for them.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
My youngest speaks Japanese. He does all of like their intonations. So it, like when he's ticked at you, he's like, tss. He like does this sound at you, and he'll say chi when he's upset, and like he's like chi, like he's sending his chi at you.
Yes,
And then he'll be
he
like,
seems to
you'll
be
ask
fluent.
him something, and I'll be like, Nani? Like what? Nani? Oh no, they speak Japanese.
Effectively.
Trust me. I am dying here.
Mm-hmm.
I need saving from my own children.
That's fair. Fortunately, I have yet avoided that issue.
Madoka.
Well, I mean, right now.
Yeah. But-
Did you hear about the twins that were born? Somebody named twins Corona and COVID. Not even joking.
Hey.
Do you know
what?
that's illegal in Australia? To name kids dumb names?
You know
You
what?
cannot do that in Australia.
Well, Australia seems to be behind the times then.
Like, why?
Hey, you know what? That's for the kid to sort out when they're in their 20s.
Those poor children.
Yeah. Well, they'll be older, but nobody's gonna remember it. They're gonna be 16. Everybody's gonna be like, what?
Oh, nobody's gonna
Isn't
remember.
that a beer?
People stopped drinking the beer because they thought that they would get the virus.
No, I think they just don't like the association. I don't know if anybody actually thought that. Like, oh, this beer has it has it in it.
You have more hope in humanity.
That's fair. We'd have to do an analysis of that, but yeah. But anyways, back to anime. I was gonna say. I feel like that's how all I'm feeling as far as Madoka and as far as what we're watching next week. Is it? You guys want to add anything else for the episode? Because we are done 15 minutes early.
Spice and Wolf.
Spice and Wolf, watch it with us. You have time. You know you do.
And all the naked fox girls are on you for accepting this.
She's not that naked.
Well,
I mean, you don't see her naked. It's not like she's face forward.
now that we've made that nice and awkward for everybody,
Oh, really?
I hope you guys have a lovely day. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely night. We will talk to you guys all later. Watch us next time. That is going to be May the 2nd. May 2nd. For Spice and Wolf. Goodbye, everybody.
Spice and Wolf.
So long.